So welcome to our Smarter Essential Oil Swaps, our live event. This is a 3-part series. Part 2 is today all about the chemistry connection, how to more confidently substitute essential oils for safe, effective blends.
We're so happy that you're here, and we're going to have a lot of fun on our event today. So in our first event, we looked at how to do thoughtful substitution by aromatic note to create really beautiful, aromatically pleasing blends. Today, we're looking at how to do thoughtful substitution that's really safe and effective, looking at essential oil chemistry basics. So we're going to look at how chemistry can help you make really smart choices for real transformative results.
And then our third event will be plant part substitutions, and how fun is this one? Explore how the part of the plant an oil comes from impacts its properties and how to make the best swaps.
Yes.
And by the end of this 3-part presentation, we know that you're going to feel more confident, you'll feel creative and empowered in your therapeutic essential oil blending.
So we mentioned it yesterday, but we wanted to just really reiterate today. All of the information from this 3-part series is coming from our aromatherapy certification program over here at AromaHead. Now, down below where you're watching, if you're really enjoying this approach to essential oils and blending, there's a link to save your space for an open house we're doing April 26th on it's a Q&A on this certification program, and we just want to offer it free to all of you who are attending. If you are interested in finding out what certification is all about, or if it's a good next step for you, we would love for you to save your seat for that event.
I will say, if you have loved this information that we're presenting, it absolutely is the next step. So you don't want to miss the informational session.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so I'm Jenny.
And I'm Karen. I'm a registered nurse, a certified aromatherapist, an educator, and I love developing curriculum. Jenny has taught me so much in doing that. She is an educator as well. And I just at the end of last year, for our ACP students, completed a new course on internal use of essential oils. Now, this is a hot topic out there in the industry, and there was a lot of misinformation that bothered me that our students didn't know how to do this appropriately. So that's how this course came about.
I know Karen worked on it for a really long time, and it's something over here at AromaHead that we've talked about doing for over 30 years. And so Karen put this course together, and it is a prerequisite. ACP, or our certification program, is a prerequisite. It's very in-depth information, and it's very, I would say, moving up towards that clinical level. So we do want that base foundation of certification, but we just wanted to put that out there and let you know that there is a long path of learning here at AromaHead, especially if you're new to us. We wanted you to know all of your options.
So Jenny and I are a mother-daughter duo.
Yes, and I love education so much. I got my master's from the University of Maryland, and I taught high school English for a long time in the DC area before Karen invited me to come over into the world of aromatherapy and learn everything I could and start creating curriculum for aromatherapists. And I love it so much. One thing I'm really passionate about is helping folks really take their love of essential oils and turn that into a thriving business. So last year, we took about 500 of our students through a program called the Natural Entrepreneur, helping folks decide on an idea for a business, brainstorm, and then as much as they wanted to, they were able to go from idea to actual creating of that business. And we did a whole year experience together. It was so much fun. And that's something I'm really passionate about, is how to support our students taking the knowledge they learned here at AromaHead and really building on that and either creating a thriving career or a side hustle. And so I just wanted to mention that as another option.
So the power of AromaHead, for those of you who are new to who we are, AromaHead is the largest online aromatherapy school with over 35,000 students in 180 different countries. Our graduates are actually shaping the future of essential oil work, and we have so many stories in so many different countries where this is happening.
It is. It's just such a crucial time to get as much knowledge as you can about how these essential oils actually work and how they can really benefit our lives. There is just such a huge amount of misinformation out there, and we need allies of these beautiful plant resources to learn everything they can so they can spread the good information and keep this way of healing our bodies vibrant and efficient and effective for the future.
And as you can tell by joining Jenny and I in these events, that we love to have the information very easy to assimilate. We want it engaging, we want it approachable, we want it so that it makes sense to you so that you can use it in a real way.
Yes. All right. So we want to go ahead and remind you that this is the second event in our three-part series. Tomorrow we'll be wrapping up with how to blend using plant part. That really gets into the energetics of the oils, and it's just a beautiful way to approach blending and putting blends together. So we wanted to remind you that this is the second event in our three-part series, and tomorrow we'll be talking all about how to choose essential oil substitutes by plant part. It's going to be such a beautiful presentation. It's the poetry piece.
It is the poetry piece, yes.
Yes.
It's really cool. Now, just to give you a recap of our last session, we focused on the aromatic notes, the top, the middle, the base note, and how that could affect our blends. How we could use these tools to create not an effective blend, but one that smells amazing as well. And now we're going a step further and we're going to explore the chemistry behind the blending and how it helps to make it safe. And yes, safe is what we learn in chemistry, and effective essential oil substitutions.
So we want to do a poll of everyone who's here live. And if you're participating over in our Natural Living Club in that thread, please pop your answer in there as well. If you feel like you are excited about chemistry and you love chemistry, pop in a 3. If you are thinking chemistry is scary, pop in a 4. If you are like, oh, chemistry is so exciting, pop in a 3. If you are thinking chemistry is really bringing me back to some terrifying moments, pop in a 4 into the chat just so we know where you're coming from. As someone who I taught high school English, I love reading. My house is full of books. I love history. I love words. I love books. I love all of that. Science has always been an intimidating thing for me until the Aromahead Institute. And I found that science gives what I do and what we all love validity. And that made me so excited to learn everything I could about essential oil chemistry. And so if you're feeling in any way daunted by chemistry, don't you worry. Here at Aromahead, we make a really complex thing easy to approach and learn and very fun.
We have a really good mix of 3s and 4s in there,
Yep.
and we are with you on each of those levels.
Yep.
We've been there, we are there.
Yes. And here we all are together. All right, well, let's go on, and we're going to now revisit the diffuser blend we made at the beginning of our time together yesterday. This is our diffuser blend that we're going to continue to refer back to, and we are going to now look at it through the lens of chemistry.
So we had 5 drops of sweet orange, 3 drops of black spruce, and 2 drops of vetiver. Now our sweet orange is rich in monoterpenes, and we're going to find out which one in just a couple of slides. Black spruce has the monoterpenes, it has a few sesquiterpenes, it has a little bit of esters in it, which has a very balance between that lightness of the sweet orange, which is that top note, and the base note of the vetiver, which is very grounding. So it's kind of a middle note in between there. And vetiver, of course, is packed with our sesquiterpenes, which are very deeply grounding and long-lasting. So let's put this blend together.
All right.
And I want to show you, as Jenny puts the water in our diffuser, and each diffuser is different, remember. Each diffuser uses either tap water, which this uses, some use a warmer water, kind of a tepid water, some use a distilled water. It's important to follow your specific directions of your diffuser. Now, vetiver is a very deep, heavy essential oils, as you saw yesterday, and you'll see again today. So one of the things that happens when you put a very heavy oil in a diffuser, diffusers work best with light airy essential oils like monoterpenes that are top notes, and even the middle notes work well. But when we get to the base notes, the thicker oils, the more resinous ones, they will tend to sit at the bottom of your diffuser. So this is what I like to do. I like to add all of my essential oils into a little bowl. It's 5 drops of our sweet orange. And we're going to be putting in 3 drops of our black spruce.
It's such a powerful combination of oils.
Now, in a diffuser blend, if you get a few extra drops of one of the oils, that's something that you don't even need to worry about, as we're not putting it on our skin topically. Now, when we get to vetiver, I took the cap off because it's such a thick resinous oil. Let's see if I can get it off today. And I very carefully put in 2 drops. See how thick that is? There we go, 2 drops. And then I'm going to put this on and set it over to the side. And now what I do is I use the other essential oils to help blend these together and thin out that vetiver so that it very easily goes into my diffuser. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And then I put this into my diffuser.
And this is where, by blending by aromatic note, by making sure it's a well-rounded blend from an aromatic perspective, you can actually tuck in oils that might not be your very favorite on their own, and it actually will become one of your favorites when you blend in with the other aromas in a blend. I saw someone say, I just don't think I can handle vetiver too well. And just to rest assured, you can still enjoy the therapeutic and the chemistry of oils that aren't your first choice from an aromatic perspective when you blend them in and tuck them in with other oils.
Right. What do you think of that blend?
I love it so much. And vetiver is an oil for me that I love what it does therapeutically. I love the energetics, but I do need to tuck it in. Others, it's their very favorite aroma of all time. For me, it's something that it comes alive for me with other aromas.
And that's a good
Love it.
point.
Yeah.
Our base notes that are really, heavy and thick and they can permeate and they last a long time, we use less of those unless you are featuring that specific essential oil and you really want that and you really love it. And a
Yeah.
lot of people do love the vetiver.
Well, absolutely. And each essential oil has superpowers and does something really well. So when you need an oil to show up in a big way, sometimes you're choosing oils that aren't your first choice from an aroma's perspective. It's a home run when you can have an oil that is just your favorite aroma and does the thing you need it to do. But we're giving you tips and tricks to work with all of these oils as you would friends and different people in your life. Sometimes you just need the dentist, right? And sometimes you just need to go to the dentist, and there might be an essential oil for you that's like that. You don't turn to it often, but when you need it, you really need it.
Exactly. Yes. We're going to get into a lot of things here. Let's go to our next slide and we're going to unpack this. First of all, we're going to dive into our D-limonene. Now, D-limonene is a chemical component found prominently in our citrus oils. All citrus oils have D-limonene, which is in the family of the monoterpenes. So we have sweet orange, we have lemon, lime, and grapefruit, and it has very powerful, well-researched therapeutic properties. Now, we looked at some of the substitutions and the safety of citrus oils in our first presentation. So if you missed that, go back and look at the safety so that you are well informed about how to substitute a citrus oil. The power of D-limonene is its immunity. It increases white blood cell production. It helps us to keep from getting sick. It's very calming. It supports anxiety relief. Anxiety is a very high energy. It helps to kind of bring down that high energy and give a good balance to how we feel. It brings relief with pain and inflammation, and also depression management. So anxiety is way up there, depression is way down there, and it kind of brings them together into a good balance.
And again, this is such a great why behind if you're recommending a citrus oil to someone in your life who may be new to oils or may think, well, I just am not sure that that's going to help me at all. This is the why behind your recommendation, right? You can say, well, that sweet orange oil will help with X, Y, and Z because of the D-limonene in that oil.
Right. Now, vetiver is also a great one to help with our anxiety. So, those of you, somebody who doesn't like that vetiver, well, let's take another look at maybe a citrus. So, the chemical components, there are hundreds of different essential oil components depending on the oil, and each one has a very unique combination. Each essential oil has a unique combination. And this is why, chemistry really matters when blending. So, knowing the chemistry of your primary oils will help you make this blend work.
And this is where, if you haven't had the results you're looking for from your essential oils, this could be that missing piece to getting those results that you're really hoping for.
So here is a GCMS report that we have formulated, kind of taken the main GC report that we get from the chemist, and we have put it into an easy to read format. So this is sweet orange. Notice over on the left, under monoterpenes, we have D-limonene. Sweet orange is almost 100% D-limonene, 96.57%. So that tells me that it's really important that I understand all about D-limonene, what it does. There's very little linalool in it. Over on the aldehydes, we have a few aldehydes, and those also come together and help sweet orange to smell like sweet orange. So let's find out what this means for us.
And while we're doing that, if you are just brand new, if this slide is brand new for you, this is the first time you're hearing of a GCMS report, just pop a 5 into the chat, and then we're going to come back and give you a more in-depth idea of what this is.
We have other examples that we'll go through, but this is our research in action. Okay, pain relief. Studies suggest that D-limonene, so this just isn't with sweet orange, it can be with lime and grapefruit and lemon. Anything with that D-limonene in it has strong pain relieving, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant effects. It has anti-inflammatory properties. It inhibits a specific enzyme that creates that inflammation, so it stops that and helps to reduce inflammation. It's antibacterial, which means it's found in oils with strong antibacterial properties, and it has an effective range against a range of bacteria. So when we're dealing with a bacterial infection or something on your face, this is when it becomes important to understand the safety of your citrus oils. Sweet orange is not phototoxic, so that is a really good one to reach for when you're making a blend for maybe you have an infected pimple on your face, or an ingrown hair has caused an inflammation, or a scratch from a dog left an inflammation and a little bit of a bacterial infection on your arm. This is a great oil to include in that. It's a mood booster, antidepressant, as well as an anti-anxiety. It's an antioxidant, so it helps to combat that oxidative stress, especially on our skin, that we often notice.
And if you can see here on this slide too, the references we've included, this is the research that's been going on for decades that really, again, helps us to know which that sweet orange in fact does these things. And so again, it really gives you credibility when you're making blends for yourself, your family, or your friends, or you're making blends for your new business, whatever it might be. This is the piece that really creates that foundation for and to inform your blending with. And we do have a lot of folks who've never heard of GCMS reports.
So a GCMS report that we just saw, and we're going to see a couple more so
Yes.
that this becomes more familiar to you. We take a test, we take a sample of essential oil when it comes from the distiller, take a little bit of essential oil, we send it to a chemist who will take that, and they have parameters that they have from their experience of testing essential oils and what is norm in the industry, what is normal for sweet orange in South Africa or Spain or Italy. And It will also show us if it has been contaminated in some way. It will show some pesticides, although there's a specific test for pesticides. It will show some of that. It will show if it's been stored incorrectly. It will show if there are components that doesn't usually show up in sweet orange, and then we can tell, the chemists can tell, say, hey, that looks like this has been adulterated or this has been stored inappropriately, and we can see that on the test. It will show up. So it's easy to experience beginner's luck.
Yep.
Right? When we're starting with essential oils, maybe you've heard, well, this is really good for this issue. And so you use that in a blend and maybe it works and maybe it doesn't work. But if you want to achieve consistently great results with your oils, then you need more than just hearsay and intuition alone. Like, so many oils offer a wide range of benefits, as you saw in our research. It's not just one thing that it's good for. So it's crucial to understand what makes each oil unique and why you might choose one over the other. And why chemistry matters in topical blending. When we create a topical blend, the chemistry becomes very important for how well it's going to work. How safe is this? Which we'll go over and we'll show you some examples. How will this absorb into my skin and bloodstream? Are there things to be concerned about? To make a topical blend for muscle pain relief, now we'll focus on specific chemical components that provide that anti-inflammatory support, pain relief, and to help circulation happen so that the blood flow, the lymph flow, it all can work together to bring relief.
It's a really exciting time to really get into aromatherapy in an in-depth way. Never before have aromatherapists been able to work with different doctors in different hospital settings and different laboratories in other realms of healthcare to provide an interdisciplinary approach to health and to healing. And we're able to do that and we're able to collaborate with healthcare providers in every realm because of the chemistry, because of the research that's happening. And so it's a really exciting time to learn this and then to be a part of this movement to make real impact with plant medicine.
When we make a topical blend, we also will choose a key carrier oil. We very rarely will put essential oils directly on the skin. There are a few instances where we do it in a very specific way, but we typically will choose a carrier oil. So to make a topical blend relief, we want something that's going to help us with that pain relief and all that goes with pain. You know, the swelling, the inflammation that happens, which causes our pain. So choosing the right carrier for a muscle pain relief, we're going to use trauma oil today. Now, we do a lot of blending in our events and in our courses. Blending is like where it's at,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So we are going to choose trauma oil, which is a blend of arnica, St. John's wort, and calendula. And these are oils that are typically infused into olive oil for X amount of time. We actually make our own carriers, our own arnica, St. John's wort, and calendula, and we call it trauma oil. And our carrier can actually enhance the effectiveness. And if it's a small child, I would even just use the trauma oil. It's that effective.
Now, for those of you who are just brand new to aromatherapy, a carrier is an oil or another product like aloe vera or lotion, jojoba, trauma oil that you would then blend your essential oils into. And it helps deliver the oils into your system when you put that on your skin. And the carrier you choose for different situations is a big deal. Different carriers absorb into our skin at different rates, and the rate it absorbs into your skin will carry the essential oils into your system. And so there's a whole beautiful world of working with carriers that we can't wait to introduce you to.
So let's go and look at the AromaHead approach for our topical dilution guidelines. We have a 1% dilution, and this is in 1 ounce of carrier. So for instance, it's 30 mils. Or if you're going by grams, it'll be 28 grams. And we use that 1% for sensitive situations. Maybe it's a pregnant woman or a child below 5 years old, or even 5 to 10 years old. We use that 1%. We use less, if any at all, for those under 5. If they have a compromised immune system, if they're really battling something, we don't want to overstress the system, and we'll use only 5 to 6 drops of essential oil per 1 ounce, and sometimes only 1, 2, or 3 drops. 2% is something that we would use on a daily basis for an adult, maybe in a massage blend, maybe in a lotion, or a general topical blend that we're going to use frequently. That's 10 to 12 drops. And then 3% is more, it's 15 to 18 drops for short-term use, a targeted situation. And sometimes we'll even use 10%. We'll even go up to 25% if needed for a very acute, which means an emergency type situation, very short term. So typically, for targeted relief for injuries and ailments, we shoot between that 3 to 10%. For small situations that we just mentioned that we might use, like lavender or tea tree, take 1 drop on a bee sting, or maybe there's a headache that we immediately need to take care of and we don't have a carrier, we might put a drop on the back of our neck. Or if there's a burn that happened, we might put a little dab of tea tree or lavender on that burn or on a cut.
And as a reminder, if you are a Natural Living Club member, you have a free PDF that we've created for you, and we've put into under the classroom tab inside of our Natural Living community. So I just want to remind all of our members that you have that available to you.
So let's do a case study. Let's
Yes.
meet Amy. So Amy is 34 years old. She recently bought a new bike and she was eager to take it for a ride. So she went out on a beautiful, crisp morning expecting this leisurely ride, only to find herself pushing her bike uphill, through snow, and over rough terrain. Now, this story came about because of my experience recently, even though I am not 34.
You are in spirit.
Amy's legs, her lower back, and her shoulders were sore. She needs a blend to ease that muscle stiffness and that muscle pain, reduce the inflammation, support circulation for easier, faster recovery. So we're going to make a blend specifically for Amy. And as we say, the best way to apply this blend that we're going to make will be through a gentle massage over the affected areas. And we're going to start with that powerful carrier oil, and then we're going to blend in our essential oils. So choosing the right carrier is trauma oil. Let's come back to camera. I want to show you what trauma oil looks like. It's a darker oil. This is a 1 ounce, a 30 ml little bottle. So we're going to make 30 ml so I can blend directly into this bottle, but I want to show you what it looks like. It's just a little bit darker than a typical oil, and sometimes it can even be much redder depending on how much St. John's wort is put into this blend. So we have our blend here. We're going to use this to blend. Now let's go to our recipe and look at this blend. Okay, we want pain relief, so we have 6 drops of spike lavender, and we're going to do a 3% dilution, and we're using 18 drops. This is Lavandula latifolia, greatly different than Lavandula angustifolia, which is our common lavender. We'll talk about that in a moment. 6 drops of rosemary, chemotype camphor, and 6 drops of peppermint, cooling peppermint, all in 1 trauma oil. This is a fantastic blend for something that you want to cool down, release, and relieve. So let's put this together.
And while we're doing that, I just wanted to mention too, one of my very favorite things about our aromatherapy certification program is the case study element. Now, this is where we're drawing on all of that information we're drawing on how you would do a case study for this presentation in a very, very quick way. In the certification program, each student is paired with an instructor, and you go back and forth with your instructor, and you do 20 different case studies where you're able to sit down and meet with someone. We tell you how to and show you how to have those conversations to figure out what all is going on in their lives, not just the pain or you're treating, or not just the health challenge that's going on, but everything else that's going on, where you're able to craft blends and really create things that will help the whole terrain. And that's one of my very favorite things about our certification program, is having that one-on-one back and forth attention with our case study instructors. And so this is just a very quick snapshot of one way that you can really help and work with people with our example of Amy.
So we're going to add, thank you for putting that in there. That was very important. 6 drops of each of our oils, and this is our lavandula, latifolia, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Now this is where the Latin names become very important, and there's a very specific course that goes much deeper into this concept of the Latin names, that is available to you to watch free. And after this presentation, before tomorrow, if you can, it would be fantastic if you could go through that and look at the teaching on how, on the lavenders, we call it the lavender teaching, but it tells you the differences between lavandula latifolia and lavandula angustifolia.
I love that you brought that up. So right below where you're watching, in the comments or in the description of this event, there's a link to our free lavenders course. We've made it free for a limited time, and it goes really in depth between 2 different types of lavender, as well as other foundational information when it comes to beginner level aromatherapy. So we would love for you, as your homework, to go through that class. It's a 2 to 3 hour course, and then come ready to talk about it beginning our presentation tomorrow. We'll come on early and just have a nice conversation about that course. It shouldn't take you long. It's going to be so great to go through, and it really is so enlightening when it comes to why it's important to know exactly what type of oil you're working with.
It shows you some different therapeutic benefits when
Yes.
you might choose one over the other.
Yes.
All right, so the next thing that we're going to use, and let's go back to the slide just briefly. Notice that our 6 drops of rosemary chemotype camphor, that CT means chemotype. There are a certain amount of our plants, and rosemary is one of them, thyme is another one, but they have different chemical components in them which give us different therapeutic benefits depending on where they're grown, okay? Peppermint doesn't have that. Many of our plants don't have that, but rosemary does. So you need to look at the Latin name again to see what chemotype. This one's chemotype camphor, and we'll briefly go into that in just a couple of slides. So let's keep putting our blend together. 6 drops of our, we want 6 drops of our rosemary.
They're both pinkish colors, so the bottle, the
I
label.
just wanted to make sure I didn't put the wrong one in to begin with. This is our rosemary, and it does smell like the herb rosemary. The spike lavender still does smell like lavender as well.
It smells like lavender with more of a warm, sunny note to it, if that makes sense.
And then we're going to put in our peppermint, and peppermint is beautiful when it comes to helping to resolve a painful issue, because at this dilution, it's actually very cooling.
We're both getting back into bike riding, so we're both going to use this blend. Probably this afternoon.
All right, so now we have our essential oils in here. I'm going to put it back into my bottle. And there's plenty of room with the essential oils that we put in here. And I'll kind of go like this just a little bit, make sure all those oils are in here. And as this sets for a minute, there's a little bit that will collect on the bottom of my little graduated cylinder, and then I'll pour that back in here as well. Okay, so that's my trauma oil blend. Now let's kind of break this down a little bit.
All right.
So the chemistry breakdown for spike lavender. Again, it's different from traditional lavender because it contains chemical families of ketones and oxides. Now, remember we talked about monoterpenes? That's a chemical family. With D-limonene, now we're talking about ketones and oxides. And these are what make this spike lavender so great for muscle tension and soreness. It's more stimulating than lavandula angustifolia. It also has linalool in it, which is a monoterpenol that is very anti-inflammatory and calming to the muscles, and so does regular lavender. Lavandula angustifolia also has linalool in it. But what lavandula angustifolia doesn't have is that 1,8-cineol, which is an oxide. It supports the circulation. It eases the tension. And that camphor, which is a ketone, it eases the muscle stiffness and it supports recovery. So the best substitution, if spike lavender isn't available, I would look for another oil that has 1,8-cineol in it, and eucalyptus is one such oil. So let's go to rosemary, and then we're going to come back to some safety. But the rosemary breakdown is it has multiple chemotypes, and we're using the camphor chemotype. It's ideal for our muscle pain. It enhances circulation. It has more of a warming effect on it. It helps with that muscle tension and the cramps. And the chemical components that are key in rosemary, chemotype camphor, are camphor increases that blood flow. It eases the pain. 1,8-cineol, which is an oxide, it can also open up the airways, and think of it also opening up the area that is inflamed. It enhances the circulation. And we also have a little bit of apinine, which supports the anti-inflammatory effects. So if I didn't have rosemary camphor, I would use, and I didn't have spike lavender already in my blend, I could substitute spike lavender and again, eucalyptus in it. So let's look at peppermint briefly. Peppermint is cooling, it's analgesic, which means it's pain relieving. Excellent for our muscle pain blend because it has menthol in it, very cooling, very pain relieving, it's anti-inflammatory. That's a monoterpenol. We have menthone, which is a ketone, and ketones are so good for tissue repair. And 1,8-cineol, which is enhancing that blood flow, easing the tension. And again, if peppermint's not available, I would try eucalyptus for a similar cooling effect. There's also corn mint that can be used. So why this works for Amy is because that spike lavender relieves the muscle tension, it promotes the circulation, it warms those muscles up, improving that blood flow, and at the same time, we're not getting too much warmth because we're cooling it down with our peppermint, reducing the pain, reducing the inflammation. So when we blend by the chemical component, now when we go to do a substitute, it's much, much easier. And we would apply this 2 to 3 times a day on that sore area, gently massage the area to recover faster, to help reduce and to ease that soreness. So let's look at our next slide about why this matters, okay? The chemical components, there are hundreds, like we mentioned earlier, hundreds of them. Let's look specifically at this 1,8-cineol. That 1,8-cineol, which is in the eucalyptus, the ravensara, rosemary chemotype camphor, and our peppermint, and some peppermint. It's known for its potent respiratory support, our pain relieving properties. Let's look at some more key research that we have here. We have respiratory and immune support. Okay, helps with colds and flus. It cleans the air, great for diffusers, breaks down the mucus, supports that immune system against harmful viral as well as bacterial. Pain and inflammation, soothes, it's a natural ally for pain relief and tension. So you look for oils, you look at that GC report and say, I need the 1/8 cineol. What other oils have this? And you look at the GC report to figure that out. It also is great for focus. It increases the blood flow to the brain. It supports our memory, enhances the mood. It promotes mental clarity and overall well being. So here's a spike lavender GC report, that big word GC report, gas chromatography, mass spectrometry. See, we have the linalool in it, over 45%, but then we have that camphor, 13%, which is a lot, and that 1/8 cineol, which is 23.9%, and these will change depending on the batch. Each batch that you have will be different. So you look at each specific GC report to see what's in that particular one. Now, our next slide will show us a comparison here with Eucalyptus globulus. It has a lot of 1/8 cineol, typically anywhere from 50 to 80% for Eucalyptus globulus.
And again, this is a great way to approach substitution. If you don't have an oil, but you know that it's rich in a specific chemical component, you would then go and look for a similar oil that has a similar amount of that chemical component, check all of its safety, make sure you're making a solid selection with that, and this is how you do your substitution based on chemistry.
And of course, in our ACP program, we have lists, we have therapeutic properties. What are the therapeutic properties of different components? Very quick and easy lists and data sheets galore. So let's look at the next slide and look at the safety. So the GCMS reports allows us to see what is in the oil and what the safety might be. So when I work with ketones, when I work with 1/8 cineol, I make sure that I have proper dilution. I might only use 1 to 2% for a topical use to avoid irritation. It's not suitable for babies or young children under 5 or near the face or in a steam blend because it's too strong. That 1/8 cineol is too strong for young children. I still would put it in a diffuser for young children, and even babies, I just wouldn't have the diffuser going all the time. I would put the diffuser on with maybe some eucalyptus in it, turn it off to get rid of the germs if there's a cold and flu going around, but I would use it in a very specific way. And then they would come into the room with the diffuser not going. I would not do an inhaler for children under 10 years old with that 1/8 cineol. Now, also those with breathing conditions, with asthma, use that spike lavender, use the eucalyptus, use the rosemary chemotype camphor very cautiously. It could be the best thing that they use, or it could cause a reaction. It's very individualized. Now, there's epilepsy considerations, okay? These are not considerations when we look at the common lavender, Lavandula angustifolia. We don't have these safety precautions, but we do with the 3 oils that we were blending with.
So quick check-in for everyone who's here. Chemistry, again, is a big topic. Now, if you are feeling in any way overwhelmed, just be really patient with yourself. The average learner needs to hear something at least 3 times before feeling really comfortable with it. So if this is your very first glimpse into this world of chemistry, just know that this is your first time going through, and you can go through as many times as you need to feel comfortable. Any new thing that we learn can feel big at first, and the more you just sit with it and spend time with it, the more it makes complete and total sense. And if you're excited about what you're hearing right now and you are excited about what you're learning, just pop in a 7 into the chat. If this is making sense and you're with us and you're excited, pop in a 7. If you have any questions at all, we will have a Q&A at the end of our time together, so there will be time for you to answer any clarifying questions. So let us know where you're at. If this is resonating with you, pop in a 7, and we are excited to just make sure that you're here with us. And again, we'll have a time for a Q&A a little bit later in this presentation. And again, All of this is from just a glimpse into what our aromatherapy certification course is all about. And if
That's right, because that certification program is over 235 hours. We take each different chemical family, the monoterpenes with the citruses and that which has D-limonene in it, and we have a whole section on that. We have a whole presentation on that. It's fantastic,
So if
really.
you're popping in a 7 right now, we are so excited. And take a minute down below where you're watching right now in the comments or in the description of this event, there is a link to go and register for our open house Q&A event on April 26th, which is all about our certification program. And if you're popping in a 7, that means we definitely want to see you there. So take 30 seconds, click that link, open up another tab, stay with us, don't go anywhere, open up another tab and save your spot. And we're really excited to have that time with anyone who wants to take their knowledge of essential oils to that next level with that open house Q&A event. It'll be about an hour to an hour and a half, free to attend, April 26th. So make sure that you save your spot and grab your seat right now while we're live with you. And again, if you popped in a 7, you're definitely the perfect person to attend that Q&A.
Well, I will tell you, when I first started looking at the chemistry, coming from a nursing background, I was like, wait a second here. You mean to tell me that there's research here? You mean to say I can look at an oil, look and see what's in that oil, and decide how to use it most appropriately? I was so excited. It really changed aromatherapy for me in a very big way.
And specifically here at AromaHead, before our family even knew about AromaHead years and years ago, Karen went and became certified at a whole nother school. She just loved aromatherapy and essential oils. And after she finished that program, she thought, I don't know how to do anything. So she found AromaHead, went through the programs, went through all the programs, and now we're creating content over here at AromaHead. So it's a wonderful, tried and true program that's been happening since the 90s, and we keep adding to it every single year. So it's definitely something we want to tell you more about April 26th.
We'll have just a couple more slides and then we're
Yes.
going to get into a Q&A
Yes.
here for you. We're going to tell you about this bonus that you're eligible for just for being here.
Yes.
But let's go back. I'm going to finish the safety
Okay.
really quick. And so if you have high concentrations of spike lavender of the camphor, over 19%, and you in spike lavender and rosemary camphor, you need to look at the GC report. Typically, they're lower. You don't have to worry about it. But if you start blending two different oils together that have a higher concentration, then you should avoid these oils for somebody who has that issue. And pregnancy precautions, why none of these oils are strictly contraindicated, we sometimes will use very small amounts of them or choose another oil as an extra precaution. And then, of course, this helps us to determine which chemical family is in this oil, helps us to determine the shelf life. Okay, isn't that exciting?
It is so exciting.
So the monoterpenes have which are the top notes, have a lower shelf life, a shorter shelf life. We get into those medium notes, those lavender angustifolias, the different florals. They have a longer shelf life of maybe 4 to 6 years. And then we get into those base notes with those deep, sesquiterpenes and sesquiterpenols. We have 8 plus, 6 plus shelf life, a long time shelf life. Okay, so just to recap here. 1,8 cineol, too strong for babies or children under 10 years old on their faces or in esteem. Use caution with children who are 5 to 10 years old with that 1,8 cineol component. So be careful with your blending with children. We always blend for children, but we need to be careful. So this is the power of that education. These are the components. The examples that we did with spike lavender and rosemary, camphor. We've got that camphor that is stimulating. That's what makes spike lavender very stimulating, whereas regular common lavender is very balancing and calming. Okay, we've got that respiratory support and that pain relief.
All
Wasn't that
right. Oh
exciting?
my goodness. Okay, so before we go into our Q&A, just a reminder that the third part of our presentation is happening tomorrow, which is Saturday, April 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And we can't wait to go through how to blend by plant part. It's just a beautiful approach to blending that you can layer into your aromatic note blending and blending by chemical component. All three is that powerful trifecta. And so we can't wait to do that. So we are going to be doing a giveaway today like we did yesterday. We'll be doing a giveaway tomorrow as well. So how to enter this giveaway is to be live over here on YouTube and to pop in what is one aha moment for you from our time together today. What is one big takeaway for you from the content we presented on how to do substitution by chemical component? Just pop that in, and at the end of our Q&A, we'll choose 3 lucky winners to receive a $50 gift card to Aromatics International. And I misspoke yesterday. You absolutely, if you're a winner, you can use your gift card in this promo that we're running right now over at Aromatics International, where you get 20% off anything store-wide except for kits and bundles, 20% off your total order when you use the code SWAPS. So you are able to use your gift card in this promotion. So I just wanted to clarify that. So
Thank you. Yeah, we felt like, oh wow, we misspoke yesterday, but
yesterday. So pop in your big aha moment from today. And then Mina has the tough job of choosing 3 random commenters to win our $50 gift card to Aromatics International, so you can stock up on all of your favorite things or get something that's brand new to you. We would absolutely love for you to do that.
so we've got lots of great comments coming in on that.
And you have some time. We'll choose our winners at the end of our Q&A.
Right. And at the end of our Q&A, we have a slide that puts it all together with this promotion that we're doing. So if it went over the top of your head, don't even worry about that, because we're going to come back to that after we answer a few of your questions.
Yes, absolutely. All right. I love all of these aha moments. Jen is saying it's not too hard. Yes. And again, the human mind needs to hear something again and again when it's new to then go into that place of feeling comfortable with it. And it's such a fantastic thing to challenge our minds to learn new things. When we're learning, we're growing as humans. When we're interacting with things we're passionate about, our spirits are on fire and we're able to just bring more to every single aspect of our lives. And so we can't wait to meet with those of you specifically who are interested in learning and becoming that expert level aromatherapist. On April 26th, we absolutely cannot wait to meet with you, tell you all about the program, how it can benefit you, and why now is the time that we need as many people as we can to become advocates of this beautiful approach to healing ourselves with aromatherapy plant medicine. So we can't wait to see you there.
Now remember, I jumped all over the board showing you
Yes.
what chemistry does. So look at the replay again, go over it again, look at the slides that are on the replay page, and say, oh, okay, now it's starting to come to me.
And let me show you, since we're here and we're hopping into our Q&A. So here we are. This is where you go down to the description. And there are ways for you to keep engaging with us. So this, the top link right here, if I click that, and if you're interested in learning more about oils, if you're interested in this information has really resonated with you, click this link. It will take you to a place where you can register right here. It takes literally seconds. You submit. I've already submitted, so. And then it says thank you, and it gives you, you save your spot so we know to send you a personal invite and make sure that you are able to be there. We're going to send out some emails between now and then with just some great information, some really nurturing ideas and concepts around this information.
And that gives us more time to spend with you, showing you
Yes.
inside the course, answering your questions, so that you can decide, yes, this is for me, this is my next step. I'm excited about all this information. I want to know how to use essential oils
Yep.
in a more effective way, in a safe way. that is your opportunity to get your questions answered.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
We have folks who come into the program because they want to heal something that's going on with them that is a health challenge that they're newly facing, and they really want that quality in-depth information to do that. We have others who want a brand new career. They want to be an aromatherapist. They want to see clients. They want a brand new business. And then we have others who want to use the information to enhance an existing career or to start a side hustle. So if any of that is, again, sounding exciting, then this is definitely the event for you. Now, your homework. Those of you who are into homework or you have time to do this, we would love for you between now and tomorrow's event to go through our free lavenders course where we go even more in depth, looking, comparing, contrasting two different types of lavender. So that's the third link here. If you click on it, it will take you over to this free course. It is around 2 to 3 hours. Enroll, go through the course, and then tomorrow we want to talk to you about your aha moments from that course. And it's just a great foundation for really smart essential oil blending.
Now, I realize that most of you won't have that much time before tomorrow's event, but if
You
you
might.
skip down to where you actually get into the teaching, the first part gives you some foundational information if you're brand new to essential oils, which is really good to have. The next part that you come into has some videos that will take you through the different lavenders, and that's
Yes.
really fun.
And this will remain free for you for the next couple of weeks. And so if you don't have time tonight between now and tomorrow's course, that's just fine. We encourage you to go through it before we go into our open house Q&A on our certification program here at AromaHead. So wanted to just make sure you knew about that. Now, those of you who want to keep the conversation going, I really encourage you to become a Natural Living Club member. We're having so much fun over here in the Natural Living Club. And this is a club that is $1 a month, $12 a year. We have so much fun in here. Right now, we've got a thread going. Look, we've got 34 comments. If you want to keep discussing what we've been going over in our presentation today, come on over, either log in as a member or join the community. We've got over 1,400 members. We've got discussions on herbs, healthy recipes for food, different strategies for aromatherapy. All folks who want to live an all natural lifestyle, this is the place for you. And over here, this is where you can keep the discussion going on our event today. And then up here under classroom, you have 2 free courses. The second over is the Lavenders course. The first, we're making again for a limited time a free course on Aromatherapy 101, which is a great foundational course. It's usually $49 and it's free for all Natural Living Club members. So that's right there where you have access to that. If you want to grab that free PDF on essential oil dilution guidelines, you just click here, click the PDF, and then you can print that off, put it on your fridge, put it in your library, keep it around your essential oils, and it's a great resource. So we just wanted to make sure you knew all of the things you have access for today. One last thing I want to let you know, over at Aromatics International, and this is where Karen works with all of these distillers, as well as our entire aromatics team down at Aromatics International. So she knows all of the folks here that we work with and get products from and oils. We have this great promotion going on where using the code SWAPS, you can get 20% off your entire order over at Aromatics International. Now, any order over $65 before the promo code will be giving you this free kit, which is so much fun. Black spruce, frankincense, sweet orange, eucalyptus globulus, and vetiver. It's a $75 value. We would love for you to put into your cart. Now, let me show you.
So let me just recap here.
Let's do that.
So they can put an order in at aromatics.com right here where you're showing them. And if they order $65 worth, they then would put the code SWAPS in, and then they would get this free kit worth $75.
I'll show you right now. So if we go to, let's say, shop all, and I want to make sure that let's go up here to shop now. All right, so let's go to, let's do a quick ad over here. I'm going to add in frankincense, and I want 30 mils. That gets me to over $65. I've unlocked free shipping. I'm going to take out this jasmine. I'm just going to have my frankincense here. Now I'm going to go to check. Wait. I'm going to add lavender because I need to be over that. So I'm going to go to checkout. Here I am in checkout. I'm going to put in swaps.
So your order is $65 at least.
Yep.
Okay.
And here I put in, I'll do it again because it's really fun to see it calculate.
Now they can still have under 65 and just not get the free kit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You just need to have $65 worth of stuff in your cart to get the free kit. And look, your Smarter Swaps bundle will be added. Once you see that note, our team knows over at Aromatics to pop that into your order. So make sure that you've got swaps in there and you're over $65 total in your before the discount in your cart, and then we know to pop that in. So we just wanted to make sure you know about this fabulous promotion over Aromatics International so that you can stock up on any of the supplies we've been talking about in this series. It's a one-time use code, and again, it's available on anything on our website except for kits and bundles. So we would love for you to take advantage of that. Now, those of you who've already placed your order, what are some of the things you put in your orders? We're so curious. What are some of the things you ordered? Pop that into the chat as well.
We had several people who took advantage of the swaps coupon yesterday, took advantage of that, ordered over $65 at least worth, and got this free $75 kit.
Yes.
So I was so excited to see that happening, that you guys were utilizing that code, because we came up with that just for you for this presentation. We thought, what can we do?
What can we do
really
that's special?
Special. And then we thought, let's do this because this
Yes.
gives us a good lineup of essential oils that do what we're talking about in this 3-part presentation.
And those of you who are enrolling in our open house Q&A event April 26th, it'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. We'll be working with this kit of oils during that event. So it's a way for you to get supplies ahead of time so you can blend along with us. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Now, some people have put in like spikenard. They've purchased spikenard and Peru balsam. This is a great way that you have been waiting and waiting to be able to order maybe a more expensive oil like jasmine or the spikenard or rose absolute. This is a good time to utilize this code because you get that 20% off. You don't have to get this little kit. You can use that 20% code on any product.
Yes.
Anything in your cart that you want.
And I love seeing everything everyone shopped for. We've got Palmarosa, bergamot, mint, hydrosols, sandalwood. I love that so much.
Well, there's a comment here if you placed your order and thought, well, I never saw that, you're not going to see it on your invoice. You'll just see it as it pops up, and then when you finally go through. But if you use that code SWAP, you'll be getting this kit.
Yes.
SWAPS with an S on the end.
Swaps with an S. All right. So now we would love to, again, we want to hear your takeaways as well. And Mina will be choosing randomly, we'll be choosing 3 lucky folks to get that $50 gift card to Aromatics. While we're doing that, if you do have any questions, please pop them into the chat so we can start the Q&A piece of our time together.
So on this Q&A, I know we've answered many of your questions on the way through, and I want to thank our team for being in there and answering your questions.
A huge thanks to Mina and to Anne, to Devin, to Gary, to Sarah, to Jeremy. We've got a huge team who's here helping. Crispy, thank you so much.
All right, I'm going to put my glasses on.
There you go.
Because those comments are kind of far away, and I see myself leaning forward. Oh, Lisa says this is super special. I can't wait to put my order in.
There you go.
And Erica, can I please get the link to sign up for the free lavender course before tomorrow?
Perfect.
So the link is right underneath where you're watching.
So you're watching us, the video, or the replay. Thank you very much. The description for this event, just click more. It'll expand out, and it will be the third link down, that free lavenders course. The third link down. The first link is the link to click to save your spot for our certification program open house, which is happening April 26th.
So I would look at your GCMS report where there's a question, how often do we need to look at that GC report when we buy oils from different sources? And I would say anytime there's a new batch, asked to look at that GC report. Look and see what the batch number is. If it's a Amazon oil from Aromatics International, you can look at the batch number, go to their site and see that GCMS report and say, oh, this is from a different country. It doesn't have this in there.
There are some really important things to keep in mind when you're wanting to work with fresh, vibrant oil. And when you're working with fresh, vibrant, organically crafted oil, you're going to get phenomenal results. If your oils aren't fresh, you're not going to get those results you're looking for. So some things to keep in mind. First, shelf life. It's really important to work with a recommended shelf life of an essential oil, and that starts from the moment of distillation, not when you get it in the mail. So it's really important to find a company like us over at Aromatics that is very transparent with that distillation date. Now, it's very hard to find companies that are transparent with that distillation date because it's really hard to keep track of. We go above and beyond to do that because we want you to work with fresh ingredients. Our tools are our oils. We want you to have the highest quality possible. And so you want to make sure you keep track of those distillation dates. And then for every batch of oil from a very specific distiller, you want to make sure that you keep track of that GCMS report, because Cape chamomile from South Africa is going to be a little bit different year to year because of the weather, when it was distilled, different environmental factors, different essential oil distillers coax the oil out in a different way. It's really important to find distillers who know how to unlock the oils from the plant. You can run a distillation for 4 hours, for 6 hours, for more than that. So it's really important over at Aromatics that we partner with really experienced essential oil distillers, because you can run the same amount of plant material through real fast, or you can take your time with it. And depending on the plant, it takes different things to really unlock that particular oil. So there's so much that goes into it. You need to start with a vibrant product, and you need to make sure you're working with a pure product that you can really trust.
Now, you're going to have that bottle of essential oil on your shelf for a while.
Yeah.
You're not going to use up this has 100 drops plus in it, about 120. And that takes a while to use that up. So it's not like you're always checking your GC reports. You check it the one time for that batch, and you've got it there. Circle the most important chemical component on that. Also, Lisa, I just want to say, to get this promo, you have to use the code SWAPS. Otherwise, our fulfillment center does not know to put this into your kit. And it's a way better deal.
Yes.
This time, using the code SWAPS, even though it's a 20% discount, you're getting $75 worth. So that is a better thing to use. You won't be able to use your a different code that you might have somewhere else.
Yes. Can we pop the slides back up? I just want to make sure that they've got a visual of this as we are about to announce the winners of our giveaways today, and then say our goodbyes. I want to make sure that they've got this information up here. So our giveaways for today, and the first winner, you're here. Please, if I don't say your name correctly, please type it in phonetically into the chat. I really like to say names correctly. So always make sure you type your name in phonetically if I'm not saying it correctly. So Diania Step, you're our first winner today. Diania Step, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Congratulations. And we've got Karen Della Flora and Candace G. The three of you are our winners for today. Please email us, team@aromatics.com, so we can issue your gift card, $50 from Aromatics International to go and have fun shopping. And you can combine it with the promo we're running right now.
So congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
We're so excited to gift you these gift cards.
Yes, and now we will be doing another giveaway of 3 gift cards at the end of our presentation tomorrow. So if you can, please come live. It's always so much fun to have you live and to have a chance for you to win your gift card.
Now, before we go to the slide that really brings it together as far as this discount goes,
yes,
I want to answer just a couple more questions.
Okay. Yeah.
So, as an asthmatic dealing with allergy season, can I blend spike lavender, eucalyptus, and rosemary as a diffuser or blend, or is that too much? So, what I would do as an asthmatic, is I would smell the cap.
Yep.
I would take this off.
Yep.
And say, let's see, here's eucalyptus globulus. Take the cap off. Well, let me do black. I'll do this one. Actually, these ones are not open. So those are for our kit. I'm
Those are
going
for
to
our
use
kit.
this one.
There we go.
And I'm going to say, I would not take a big whiff. I would take the cap and go like that. Just smell a little bit of it. Wait, how do you feel? Do you feel okay? You're breathing just fine. Chances are it will be, but there's a component in black spruce, for instance, that does have a pinene, and it can trigger that as well. So, and then take your next cap and smell it. And you're, yeah, I'm doing okay. Then try your diffuser in a room just for 5 minutes, turn it off, and then see how you're reacting to that. You're reacting fine, you can do it a little bit longer. So it's very, what works for you may not work for somebody else, and vice versa. It's very dependent on you and what your body is dealing with as far as how this might react with you. Any of the ones that we discuss at to be careful with the asthma.
Yes.
Any oil for if you have asthma, I would do that with any oil just to make sure that it doesn't cause
Yeah.
a reaction.
Yep.
And it can change. Maybe it's fine today and maybe next week it's not. So always approach it with caution.
Yes.
It can be beautiful for asthma.
I love that.
Okay. Let's see here.
We are going through your comments. We can see them right below here. And again, if you have any other questions, you can keep the conversation going over here inside of our Natural Living Club. I have the discussion pinned to the very top of our space up here inside of the Natural Living Club. It's $1 a month to join. We just reached over 1,400 members. Over 600 members are certification students in the program or graduates. So the essential oil advice that you are able to have access to in the community around folks who are blending every single day inside of this community is truly phenomenal. Now, if you have any more questions about this event that we're not getting to, please come on over. There's a link to join school, our Natural Living Club inside of school, down below where you're watching in the description. It's the second link in the trio of 3. So click that link, come on over, and keep the conversation going by popping your comments in right here. And look, one of my favorite things we have going this month, Lori, who I think is still here with us, Lori started 9 days ago a challenge for 30 days of gratitude throughout the month of April. We have 639 comments, and I just love that this community, this entire community that you're in right now on this live event inside of NLC, over at Aromatics, over at Aromahead, inside of our Thriving Aromatherapist is so warm and supportive, and truly people are creating meaningful friendships and networking opportunities inside of this community. So please come and join us over here inside of the Natural Living Club. We're having so much fun.
So you can watch the replays. There's the replay page that you'll be able to watch yesterday's presentation, today's presentation, and then we hope to see you all here tomorrow.
Yes.
For our next presentation for our substitutions by plant part.
I know. It's going to be a really beautiful presentation, so we can't wait to see you there. All right, well, we're going to sign off. This has been absolutely delightful. Thank you again for your time. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for doing that. Those of you who are live and watching the replay, we are equally important and we love you so much. So thank you for being here and wanting to learn more about essential oils and how they can help transform our health and wellness. And so we are so appreciative, and we will see you tomorrow. All right, bye for now.